I just want to give everybody an update on the War of the Worlds build we're doing, the diorama, the sculpture, whatever you want to call it. I've been working on the model ship for it to show you where we are on that. This is just the top half. The bottom half I'm working on. Still have to add the propellers and some other things and paint it up. This has not been painted yet, but you can see some of the detail on it. I'll show you a video of putting this together. Some of it will be heavily edited. Get the curse words out of there, trying to handle these little small pieces. And one piece goes flying, you spend 20 minutes looking for it. But anyway, I think this is a success so far. It looks good. We're gonna take chunks out of it because we're gonna have explosions coming out of that, and I'll show you that. That's why this guy's here. I just want to show you how we're going to make those explosions. And because I've already done one once with this particular sculpture. And let me turn it on. And we'll put you down so you can see it. And as you can see, it looks like an explosion coming out of that building. The dragon's breath. I call this my gravity-defying dragon, as he's swooping down and breathing fire onto this building. Now this light I used for this, I'll show you exactly what I used, and it comes in 3 modes. You have this kind of throbbing mode, which is pretty awesome. And then you have the solid mode, it just stays static. And then you have the fire mode, the billowing fire mode. This was so successful as an explosion, I want to use it for the War of the Worlds build. So I'm going to show you what I use for that. Let me shut that off. Now these are the lights, little flame lights, LED. Turn it on for you. I mean, the camera's not really picking it up all that great, but it's doing the pulsating that it did there. You got the 3 different modes. Now what I did is I took my little Dremel-like tool and cut this plastic all off, exposing the LEDs and the electronics. And this is what you're left with right here. You can see the little LEDs all over it. The electronic board there that controls the 3 different modes, and your wires. And that's just embedded in the silicone. And I think there's some hot glue wrapped in there also. And then you paint it up to look like an explosion. So we're going to do that. I want at least 2 explosions in this diorama. We're going to use the same principle that I used here, the same technique. I like to call them sculptures. They're very unique pieces. They're unique to the builder. Like, for instance, this guy, I'm not trying to be exact to the H.G. Wells, book, which has that battle scene with the Navy ship. When I first read that, I was a teenager when I read the book, and that image stuck in my brain all this time. And I always wanted to do something like that. And finding this gives me the opportunity to do that. But I'm not going to be sticking exactly to it, because these models right here are from the, was it 2015 movie, Spielberg movie? So a little different than the creatures that were in the H.G. Wells book. And also the ship is not the same ship. It was a British ship, I believe. God, I can't remember the name of the ship right now. It's a great name, Thunder Child or something like that. Valiantly went out to fight the aliens, and lost that battle. So we're using a different ship. No disrespect to the people who served on this. This is, I don't have the box right here, but this was the, called the Sullivans, named after a family, all brothers who died on one ship. And they changed up the rules back then so that you wouldn't have the whole family in one location. They all get killed together. But we're going to change the ship quite a bit. It'll be somewhat unrecognizable when we're finished. All right, so I got to get back to putting this model together. It has to be painted up. I had one idea with the paint job. It's not going to be historically accurate, but that's okay. Like I said, this is a piece of artwork. You're the artist. We're working within these confines. You're God in that situation. You can do whatever you want. I was thinking of doing a paint job. It was called Dazzle Camouflage. It was used a lot in World War One. They used it a little bit in World War II, not as much because very little evidence that it was effective. I'll put an image up of what the Dazzle paint job looked like. But it was supposed to fool especially U-boat captains or submarine captains looking through the periscope. The visibility wasn't very good through the periscope, and if the weather was lousy, you wouldn't be able to tell if it was one ship, two ships, what direction it was moving in. But like I said, they didn't know if it was very effective. There's no real numbers on it. It's hard to tell. But they did carry it over into World War II in some circumstances, even painted the decks on some ships in that technique to fool bombers coming in. Once again, we don't know if it was effective or not. I mean, they stopped using it, so that's probably evidence enough that it really wasn't that effective. But it might look cool in this particular situation. But it might be too busy for what we want. I mean, there's a lot going on already with this. So we just might go with Battleship Gray. But keep watching.